They have activities that are scheduled, like we have Q&A. Sometimes we ask questions, like we have a session for questions and answers where we give rewards to someone to answer them correctly. But the questions are mostly based on Bitcoin. So if we have talked about Bitcoin for some period, like a month or two, there's a session of quizzes and answers where mothers can answer really whatever they know about Bitcoin to whatever extent they've been taught. Yeah. Other than that, we have like we practice spending in our circular economy as frequent as possible, and to increase our spending rate or to increase the involvement of the mothers into transacting with Bitcoin and even the local community, we have tried to offer, or we continuously offer some discounts to products that we offer in the circular economy with the merchants that we have on board. Those are some of the simple activities we do. Outside the mothers and the program, we try to better the jobs of merchants so that people like you, when you come to visit our circular economy, you find our merchants in a better place than how most are portrayed, especially here in Kenya or in Africa. So when you come to, let's say, Kimbo Matangi, you'll find a merchant there selling meat. There's a merchant for groceries. There's a merchant for milk. There's a merchant for diapers. There's a merchant for almost everything. So those two components of Bitcoin Baby. Bitcoin Baby, the mother part of taking care of the mother and the baby, and there's this the circular economy where we try to initiate everyone in the community to be part of the Bitcoin.
Hello, this is the Bitcoin Libertarian. Our guest today is Daniel. Daniel is part of the team of Bitcoin Babies, the trailblazing initiative that's empowering mothers globally through Bitcoin financial education. Funded by the passionate Naomi Ngacha, Bitcoin Babies isn't just about stacking sats. It's about building sovereignty, creating circular economies, and giving moms the tools to secure brighter futures for themselves and their families. From merchant networks where you can spend Bitcoin on everything from groceries to self-care, to their upcoming book, The Sovereign Mother, that's set to revolutionize the mom resources, these women are proving that Bitcoin is for living, not just for saving. Today, we will talk about their project and how Bitcoin is empowering women and mothers around the world. Daniel, welcome.
Thank you, Fernando. I'm pleasured and honored to be here.
And a pleasure to talk about this project, because I always say that Bitcoin has multiple uses. And now that we are, I think the narrative is around the Bitcoin treasury companies, the ETF, the nation states buying a lot of Bitcoin. But these kind of projects that are in Africa, in Latin America, in regions that really need Bitcoin, I think that are the projects that why Bitcoin was created by Satoshi, to give power to the people who need the most, who give access to banking to the people who need the most. So for me, I'm always excited when I have a guest from Africa or Latin America or Asia. So it's going to be great. But the first question, Danny, is how were you orange pilled? How did you arrive to Bitcoin?
It took a long while for me to arrive in this space. I can't say that I arrived early enough, but I won't say I also arrived late enough, because I was initiated initially, like 2020, somewhere there, by my friend Naomi, who we were studying with a few years back in school while she was still in Kenya. So after she went to the Netherlands, she tried initiating me into Bitcoin, making me understand what Bitcoin is, whatever revolves around Bitcoin. Unfortunately, let me say I was too hard-headed, or I was not well acquainted with whatever Bitcoin is all about. But after a few years after she went through her birth process, from pregnancy to giving birth, the whole concept revolved around creating a program that supports mothers and babies from childhood to adulthood. She felt like I had the potential to be part of that project while I'm not a mom. She decided to initiate me first into the project and help me learn about Bitcoin in the process of understanding whatever Bitcoin Baby is all about. So I was initiated early, but I came to learn a lot about it recently, actually this year. I have gained a lot of knowledge in this year because she initiated me in January, reinitiated, I would say, in January again. I decided to take it seriously. I decided to go deeper and learn whatever she was aspiring me to learn because she knew I had the capability to learn. Funny enough, that I didn't know. But I like that the courage and the belief she had in me about Bitcoin was enough for her to allow me to be part of this space. It has been a process for me.
Excellent. Sorry, I stopped my microphone because as I'm not in my studio, there are probably you may listen to dogs barking or dogs fighting on the street. So I'm not in Hong Kong. So, but I want to ask because I'm gonna be speaking at La BitConf in Buenos Aires, and one of the topics that I need to cover is how Bitcoin changes you. So how did Bitcoin change you from your perspective of the economy and the life in general?
The only thing I will say that changed a lot for me in the first place was understanding how centralization is affecting a lot of people in a negative way than in a positive way, than how it is portrayed. It's a safer option for us than decentralization. That was my key idea of taking Bitcoin to another level for myself than for another person, for me to understand it better so that I can explain it to someone else who doesn't know about it. Even our current mom don't have that a lot of knowledge about it because they are only a year into it. So we as the employees of the Bitcoin Babies program and space, we have to have that expertise or knowledge that allows you even to incorporate even an outsider into the Bitcoin Babies program. So decentralization was my main key point of understanding Bitcoin at first, let alone the technical part of it, let alone the other things. Other than decentralization, I would say amount of freedom offered by Bitcoin is quite substantial for someone who hasn't learned anything about difference between fiat money and Bitcoin. Because a lot of people just know about centralized money. They just know about money that is provided by the government. We don't know about money that you can control or money that is in your possession. So that was my selling point about understanding Bitcoin and wanting to learn more about it.
Excellent, excellent. And now talking about the project itself, how did Bitcoin Babies? How was Bitcoin Babies born? And I think that started in Kenya. And basically, how did it started?
Okay, it wasn't born in Kenya. It was actually born in the Netherlands, but by a Kenyan. So she went to the Netherlands, she met someone while she went for studying in the first place. After studying, met someone who understood Bitcoin. That person, Ramon, tried to explain to Naomi about Bitcoin for some time. The first attempt failed. The second attempt, that's when she borrowed the idea. On the third attempt, she accepted the idea, I would say. And after being in a relationship between Naomi and Ramon, they ended up having they created a baby out of that relationship. So the experiences that were experienced during that pregnancy period by our founder Naomi is what motivated her to want to offer the same kind of services she got while being pregnant in the Netherlands to Kenyans. Because in Kenya, I can't say taking care, maternal care is not that good as compared to European countries or first world countries. In Netherlands, she said she was being taken care of for having for carrying a baby alone. let alone even having the baby in physical form. She was motivated by the fact that the whole system was so focused on making sure the mother and the baby are okay, even before and during and even after birth, which is something that a bit lacks in Kenya. She borrowed the idea of whatever is happening in Netherlands, the medical or the health system or the maternal care that takes place in Netherlands, and wanted to act or implement the same thing from where she was born, which is in rural Kimbo. That's where our circular economy is. So she wanted to like extrapolate the same thing that is happening in Netherlands, Kenya. So that's how Bitcoin Babies was born, combining whatever she had learned about Bitcoin, the freedom that she had learned about Bitcoin, how you control yourself under Bitcoin, how Bitcoin makes you be responsible. That's how she combined Bitcoin, the responsibility involved in Bitcoin with the responsibility involved with motherhood. Combined them both, tried to make mothers understand why freedom is important over having the same supply of the same thing that does not grow in the long run. Rather than it depreciates in the long run instead of growth. I think that's why she came up with that idea of having a program that supports mothers, that supports babies, that makes the well-being of babies and mothers a priority from the first year of growth to maybe 4 or 5 years, that when the baby can create, can think of something, can respond to something. Yeah.
And what are the activities that Bitcoin babies do? They approach only mothers to be, or it's more for the whole community?
Okay, Bitcoin babies is subdivided into two. There is the Bitcoin babies part and there is the circular economy part. But both of them, one cannot do without the other. So our main priority in the first place is about taking care of the mother and the baby. That's why we generated even the book that we have right now that's on pre-sale, so that a mother can understand why being financially free, being health-wise good, and being mentally well are vital for your growth, for the growth of the baby and your growth with the baby as a mother. With Bitcoin, we try to make the same. Like when the baby grows as a toddler from childhood to adulthood, if he grows in the space of Bitcoin, he won't need a lot of energy that we use right now to understand Bitcoin. They would have understood Bitcoin from childhood. That's why we thought of empowering the mother first. We empower the mother to empower the child. That's our motive. So when the mothers are initiated into the program, there's a procedure they follow. There are activities they do on every week. They have to attend a meeting. They have activities that are scheduled, like we have here and there. Sometimes we ask questions, like we have a session for questions and answers where we give rewards to man to answer them correctly. But the questions are mostly based on Bitcoin. So if we have talked about Bitcoin for some period, like a month or two, there's a session of quizzes and answers where mothers can answer really whatever they know about Bitcoin to whatever extent they've been taught. Yeah. Other than that, we have like we practice spending in our circular economy as frequent as possible. And to increase our spending rate or to increase the involvement of the mothers into transacting with Bitcoin and even the local community, we have tried to offer, or we continuously offer some discounts to products that we offer in the circular economy with the merchants that we have on board. Those are some of the simple activities we do. Outside the mothers and the program, we try to better the jobs of merchants so that People like you, when you come to visit our circular economy, you find our merchants in a better place than how most are portrayed, especially here in Kenya or in Africa. So when you come to, say, let's say Kimbo Matangi, you'll find a merchant there selling meat. There's a merchant for groceries. There's a merchant for milk. There's a merchant for diapers. There's a merchant for almost everything. So those two components of Bitcoin Baby. Bitcoin Baby, the mother part of taking taking care of the mother and the baby, and there's this particular economy where we try to initiate everyone in the community to be part of the Bitcoin space.
Excellent. So let me understand how it works. When the mothers go to get help from you, or the organization try to go and speak with the mothers to be organize seminars, or it's more a one-to-one learning experience for the mothers to be?
Okay, we do meetups, not seminars. Meetups are for physical meetups which occur maybe once a month. But what we do occasionally are virtual meetings with the moms. From the day they are initiated, from the first month or first week they are initiated to the last month or last week, which is a period of a year. Within that period, we offer those mothers an incentive or a subsidy, or let me say a grant of $5, which is paid in Bitcoin, which is sent to them in Bitcoin. That grant is what we expect them to be spending on their babies or on themselves to better themselves and better their position financially. The $5, okay, as much as it's not that much money, it is as much as we think it can bring an impact into that mother's life or that baby's life. At the same time, that $5 is teaching a mother how to transact in Bitcoin. At the same time, that $5 is teaching a mother how to stack or to hold. That's what we try to. The simple, let me say, cheaper programs we could say, but they make changes which are big for me. I will say, because we can't compare the first group from the second group. The first group was a bit knowledgeable, but the second group is, you can say, well knowledgeable. They have the resources to learn a lot, and the activities are just that. We kind of recycle some of the activities like meetings, because on the meetings we teach courses of different kinds. We may teach courses relating to finance. We may teach courses relating to health. We teach courses relating to nutrition. We teach courses relating to different aspects of the Bitcoin space. How you can send money to a Lightning wallet, how you can receive money from a Lightning wallet. Those are some of the things we try to teach them.
And you focus only on teaching about Bitcoin and Bitcoin concepts, or you give them more like a teaching, because Bitcoin comes to solve a problem that is the inflation, is the money debasement, is all these issues that we suffer, especially in our countries. Do you teach only Bitcoin, or do you teach them how to do a budget, personal finance, how to save money, how to do DCA?
Okay. I wish I was able to share with you everything we do. Like, I think the past 2 weeks we've been doing budgeting. We have been teaching them budgeting, actually. We teach outside even Bitcoin for them to have, as much as they have that independence, they must have the discipline to manage that money too. It is little money, but it's impactful money. So what we do, we teach every aspect of how a mother can manage the whole circle that is around her, including even family and friends, and even the pressures that come after giving birth for a mother. We try to embed every aspect of life into teaching Bitcoin with them. It's not only about Bitcoin. If we focus on Bitcoin alone, I think some would have been bought by now because not everyone is well acquainted or does accept having Bitcoin as a means of payment or as a medium of exchange or as a means of anything. They believe most of them at first even believe it's a scam. So teaching about Bitcoin alone is not our main goal, but our main goal is making them understand freedom does not come from dependency. Freedom comes from learning how to deviate away from constructs that confine you within a circle that doesn't benefit you in any way, which can go beyond defense space, even health-wise. Yeah, so we teach them health, we teach them nutrition, we teach them budgeting, we teach them a lot of things. We invite a lot of people. And I think at one of these days, we will invite you to teach them something maybe unique. We don't know.
Yes, totally agree with what you say. We need to teach, when we teach Bitcoin, we need to teach many aspects of the life, not only do DCA or self-custody. We need to teach many other things
Yeah.
that are the same as important as doing your DCA or how to buy Bitcoin on an exchange or on P2P. And how many people are now in part? How many mothers are in the program? And by the way, the program is only for mothers to be, or when they give birth to their kids, they can continue learning in Bitcoin babies.
Okay, currently the program is comprised of 10 mothers every year. We take our program starts 6th of April every year to April the other year. Within that period, we educate, we finance, and we try to empower 10 mothers. 10 mothers in the sense that you either are pregnant or you have a kid below 1 year of age. Those are our target population. A pregnant mom or a mom with a child who is less than a year old. And other than enrollment is based on how difficult your mother experiences in going through even the pregnancy test alone. So if you are if a mom is experiencing issues while pregnant, you can imagine when she gives birth what she will go through. So we try as much as possible to recruit even the pregnant moms, even if you are 1 month pregnant, 2 months, 3 months, as long as you can prove you are pregnant, we can incorporate you into the program. After incorporating you, we teach you all these things that are in the course that we have for the whole year round, and try to offer you as much support as we can so that you have the knowledge when your kid has arrived at the end of the pregnancy period. Yeah.
And how do you select the people for the program? It's just people who go or you like give privilege, for example, to single mothers or mothers in a situation of extreme poverty and all these things.
We have a team that carries out all the procedures. Like for me, I'm responsible mostly with the website, content writing, dealing with the merchants, dealing with how the circular economy works. That's my area of specialization in Bitcoin baby. But we also have a program planner who takes care of the mother segment alone. She's responsible for laying down the ideas of the types of mom we choose. But the main categories of mom that we choose are mom we think or we have thought to find out that they have experiences, family background issues or experiences that might have prevented them or could have prevented them from raising a kid safely, as we portray in layman's language. So there's a plan or there's a guideline that we have as Bitcoin babies for how we select the mom. There is an enrollment sheet, criteria for them to pass to be a mother, criteria that make them fail to be a mother in the Bitcoin babies program. So all those outlines and guidelines they give us and standards, they give us an outline of who we can select or who we can choose to be part of the program and who cannot be part of the program. And it is all of them. We have, okay, in Notion, we have all of them, everything relating to the Bitcoin babies somewhere written and followed, structured. It's not as random, or it's not even, nothing is random with Bitcoin babies. We plan and implement anything with validation from each and every member of our team. We are a team of 5, and everyone has his or her responsibilities that must be fulfilled for our program to keep on running day in, day out.
Excellent, excellent. And talking about the circular economies, how are you building them? You approach mostly shops related to baby care or pregnancy care, or you just go and try to onboard any kind of shop that you want or that you can to make them accept Bitcoin and create these circular economies?
Okay, before I explain how that happens, the reason how we built our circular economy was because as much as we wanted to offer the moms the $5 in Bitcoin, where would they have spent that $5 in Bitcoin as Bitcoin? There was nowhere, literally. So we had to find merchants who offered products that resemble what a mother would need for a baby. In the first program, okay, it was difficult onboarding the merchants because it is difficult explaining to a newcomer how to adopt new technology and how to use that new technology to their advantage without them feeling like you're scamming them, without them feeling like you're taking something away from them. In our case, we asked a few merchants, we asked not even a few, lots of merchants, and a lot of them have been dropping out too. You can't force merchants to stay in the circular economy if they don't want to. But for the few ones that have stayed, have been very impactful. We have a merchant who provides maize or any type of flour that can be used to cook porridge for a baby. We have a merchant who sells meat. We have a merchant who offers grocery products, even for baby groceries. Those that are efficient for babies to eat, those are not efficient for babies to eat, but for the mothers to eat for the sake of the baby. We have a merchant who offers diapers. It's a supermarket, so he offers almost everything. So it's not based on a particular trait, but based on whatever that merchant would offer as a benefit to the mother and the baby, not the circular economy itself, not even Bitcoin babies as itself.
Excellent. And talking about you talk about the merchants that were worried about possible scams, and I assume the same as here in Argentina and in every poor country that is with all the cryptocurrency, there are a lot of people trying to take advantage and bringing this kind of Bitcoin scams. How do you deal with that? Have you faced some people of the community approached by these scammers trying to sell them the new Bitcoin, this kind of shitcoins that they sell?
Okay, so far I haven't had a merchant who has complained about that, but I had a news during Caesar Day this year. There was an incident. The good part is that we were there at the team too. There was an incident of someone who wanted to trade, to sell Bitcoin using, like to transact with Bitcoin using Binance, which was a little problematic for us. We, at first, during that time, I didn't know how effective, or how different a government, a centralized medium of exchange is, how harmful a centralized medium of exchange is to a Bitcoiner or a person trading in a Lightning address network until that day on Tuesday that someone wanted to trade with Binance. And that merchant specifically, okay, on that day she was a customer to us, but she came complaining about someone wanting to trade with her on Blink using Binance and felt like it was a bit scammy. Even if it wasn't transacting for business, she felt like it, this is not the Bitcoin that has been initiated to in the recent months. This is something else different. But in most cases, I don't think I've ever faced an instance where a merchant comes and tells me, hey, Dan, someone came here and did this and this. No, I haven't faced any of them in our circular economy.
Yes, yes. It's because I think that all comes down to education. When you educate people,
Yeah,
when you teach them what is Bitcoin, because again, most of the people, again, I say, especially in the poor countries, because it's something that I questions that I get from my friends here in Argentina that they say, "Oh, but
yeah,
I think that I'm late to Bitcoin now. Bitcoin is so expensive, so why don't I can buy this coin with a frog that with $1 I can buy 1,000, and when it reach the price of Bitcoin, I will be millionaire." And you need to teach them that it's not the same. That there's not
yeah,
gonna be a second Bitcoin. And how do you see,
yeah.
as you are working in the field with the people, how do you see Bitcoin as a tool for changing the reality of these communities that, again, as we always say, they do. I love to read the book of Andreas Antonopoulos and when he was talking about people in Africa that they don't have access to banking system, and when they have access with Bitcoin, how do they change their lives? How do you see the change, the improvement by using Bitcoin?
Okay. For starters, I didn't know the proximity of Bitcoin or how much it can do. But for our team and our founders, they have been monumental in convincing us or teaching us more deeper knowledge about Bitcoin or giving us platform to expand our knowledge about Bitcoin compared to when I was not into the Bitcoin space at all, or when even none of my team members were not in that Bitcoin space at all. When I was initiated, we were initiated with another colleague of mine, our social media manager. In the first period, I think I felt it was a scam too because I had tried it before and I dealt with shitcoins more than Bitcoin itself. So I had we call it how do I say, like a mindset, a negative mindset towards anything relating to Bitcoin or any shitcoin until I was educated, until I allowed even myself to learn or be educated about Bitcoin and understand how it makes me feel okay, it makes me feel free. Like I don't know, it has a lot of control over me than what I felt before. And the amount of freedom it offers, I think you can witness even through demands. Demands do a lot with that grant of $5 than they do even with the amount of Kenyan shillings they have in their M-Pesa account. Okay, M-Pesa is a concept in Kenya with a global money transfer where you do it over the phone. And I think it's the same concept that is applied in Bitcoin, only that Bitcoin has a lot of technicalities that one has to understand to be in that space. So I will say on freedom, it is an eye opener of how governments manipulate us, use us, and put us to use the rest of our lives and dispose us off when we die. That's how much freedom I have learned or how much control I have learned and seen people in the Bitcoin space giving a challenge even to me as a beginner or an or a learner in this stage. It gives you freedom to learn things that you are not even able to comprehend or to perceive as an individual because you're in a group of people who have different types of knowledge and who build each other as a group than in a government or centralized system where it's every man for himself. No one wants to, you want to succeed by yourself, you want to do everything by yourself without the help or without the integration of other aspects that may make you be financially free from any taxes, from inflation, from any kind of oppression that occurs in finance or in different aspects of life.
Yes, yes. And how is the inflation situation in Kenya? Is a huge problem or is just a minor problem?
Inflation
Because
is
you
a
know,
big
I come
problem
from the
in Kenya.
country. I'm in the country that we are the world champions of inflation.
Huh?
So how is
At
the
what rate
inflation
is
there
it
in
in your
Kenya?
country?
Because in my country, Argentina, we are the world champions of inflation. In the past years, we were the top one. Now our president is doing a great job in reducing inflation, but we have still a huge inflation, and it's a huge problem in Argentina. So I want to ask in Kenya, how is the problem of the inflation?
The level of inflation in Kenya, I would say it's relatively almost the same as in many other countries, but it's not as in recent years it has kind of reduced, but still not that by that much. Because if we measure inflation using maybe the Kenyan shilling against the dollar, you will see how a simple fluctuation in the dollar makes the Kenyan shilling weak, which is a problem for us as Kenyans, right? It increases taxes, it increases expenditure, it increases liabilities, it increases a lot of things that we incur just because there's an addition of a single dollar on the Kenyan shilling. That kind of inflation that doesn't give you the freedom to budget even for the things that you can have as basic needs in the house. Offering $5 in Bitcoin to the moms, it's not that because they cannot get any amount of money at all. It's because even whatever they get is not enough to accommodate them, to maintain themselves, let alone the big. So if you cannot sustain yourself as a grown up, do you picture yourself having a baby? How difficult will that be? That's how bad inflation in Kenya is. A mother can give birth and not have anything to feed the baby. You
Yes.
can
And
give birth
what are
maybe freely in a hospital. You can give birth in some hospitals. They offer maternal services maybe for free, but afterwards you don't have anything to raise the baby with. You don't have money to buy clothes. You don't. Okay, you have money, but you don't have money for luxury, for any type of luxury at all. It is basically basic needs, hand to mouth.
yes, yes. And how? What are the biggest uh, the biggest the big hurdle, the biggest issues, to the biggest difficulties to onboard people to Bitcoin, to start bringing people to Bitcoin?
Okay, knowledge and expertise is what it's the main key for you to onboard anyone on Bitcoin. You can't onboard someone if you don't know even the history of money itself. You can't onboard someone if you don't know what money is, how money has evolved, why money has been changing over the years. You have to have those basic features or basic knowledge of 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 why Bitcoin. And why not fiat, or why not gold, or why not any other type of currency or money? So education, learning, and understanding whatever you're dealing with is essential for us to onboard even the merchants themselves, let alone even the outsiders. For us, the merchants, it is a bigger task, and it's someone who is beneficial to your circular economy, but it's difficult for you to onboard them because if you don't have enough knowledge to convince them, you don't have enough knowledge to make it possible for them to understand.
Yes, yes, I
Yeah.
understand. And how do you work in education? You because you are a content creator, you are a social media manager, so you produce the educational content through social media, through X. Are you active on Nostr or other kind of social media?
Yes, I'm active on Nostr as still Danitas. On X, I am still active as Danitas. And on Instagram, yes, I'm not that active. I'm mostly active on X and not, but the other accounts, I'm not that active. But for Bitcoin, I manage Bitcoin on all accounts. We are two that do management of Bitcoin on social media. There's one who maintains Instagram and mostly X, and I maintain Nostr and mostly X too. So the content we write, it we try to make it as natural as possible. We don't want to make it look cliche type of content. We have to make content that is relative to you and relative to the for you to understand why LBDs exist, relative for you to know why we use Bitcoin as a means of payment and not any other currency. Yes, that's how basically we operate on those social media platforms. But on Nostra, if you ask anything on Nostra, I'm the one who responds. Yeah,
Yes, yes. And any success story that you have from Bitcoin babies, from probably a mother that was fighting or struggling, and with Bitcoin babies, she changed her life in a good way?
there is one very, not even one. We have to. Our program manager was Bitcoin baby's mom of the first group. She was seen to be motivated and committed to the Bitcoin space. So Naomi and Ramon saw it viable for her to be onboarded as a program planner for this group now for the next and any other upcoming group. For the mothers who are in currently, the only okay, there's a few we can say about the success stories, which is group success stories. But for individual success stories, we have two cases from the previous month. One is a merchant who does hair salon and barber and hair salon, but also she is responsible for selling Bitcoin in our circular economy for non-Bitcoiners who want to trade with Bitcoin. And we only sell those, we only sell Bitcoin if you want to go and purchase a product using Bitcoin alone. Her name is Joyce, and she's our central point of how transformation can take within a very short period of time because she's a willing learner. She's very good at simple tasks on talking to people, making them understand simple things here. That's one of the success stories we have. And I think she appeared on the one of Blink's blog stories about adopting Bitcoin.
Yes, excellent. And what do you think that is needed to, because now we are probably in the whole world, we are like less than 10% of people who use Bitcoin, either using it on a daily basis, holding, or something like that. What do you think that is needed to boost this adoption at least to 20, 30, or 50%?
I think okay, it's not to brag, but I think whatever we're doing about starting with babies or people with young minds, it's easier than going to an older adult who has already some background knowledge about money. A lot of, especially in Kenya, I'll tell you for free, it is difficult for you to convince a 30, 40, 50-year-old person to stop banking and do holding. It is very difficult. You cannot convince, even my mom, I can't convince her. I haven't even tried to convince her because it is a difficult thing. I tried once, up to date, it's not a success because it is not easy.
It's the same for me.
But yeah, but for someone my age, someone who is younger than me, they'll be like, what is this Bitcoin? How does it operate? Why do you use it? Why do you think it's better than this? They like inquisitive. They ask questions which you find yourself answering entertainingly because it's something you like doing.
Yes, yes. And moving forward to the project that you are running, I heard that soon is going to be released a book about Bitcoin babies that is called The Sovereign Mother. So tell me
Yeah.
about the book. Tell me about when it's released and what people can expect about the book that is going to be coming.
The book is generally about offering knowledge to mothers, new mothers or current mothers about raising a kid from childhood to maybe around 4 years of age. The procedures involved what to feed, how a baby turns from this phase to this phase, what to do from one phase of this age to another phase, what you can do in case the book is not working for you. It is also recommended in the book if it's not working for you. If something is not working for you in the book, you are advised to seek for advice somewhere else which is better positioned to your need. But for a book itself, it is incorporative of financial knowledge of mental well-being of both the parent and the baby, and even the parents and the baby, not the mother alone, and the health of the mother, psychological post post postnatal depression, something like those. We try to address all those under between babies to avoid the negative effects that come with giving birth as a mother. That's for the book itself. And we have a pre-sale of the book on 14th of November in El Salvador, which will be attended by our founders. I hope you'll meet them. And you get a book too from us so that you can market us and market the book for us too.
So
But we have a
it's
pre-sale.
going It's going to
We
be
have a pre-sale.
presented in adopting Bitcoin. By the way, I'm not going to adopting Bitcoin. I've been
Wow.
traveling a lot, but I'm not going. So I want to go to El Salvador probably next year or in 2027. But this year is
Okay.
enough Bitcoin traveling for
I
now.
was I was I was hoping you'll be there so that you can have a taste of what Bitcoin DBs is in real life rather than on virtually.
Yes, no,
But
really, it's a place that we always wanted to visit. It's difficult for us because living in Hong Kong, going to El Salvador is super tough. It's tough to come to
yeah,
Argentina. But yes, sooner or later, I think that I will go to El Salvador because every Bitcoiner, in fact, here I have the flag of El Salvador because it's like
yeah,
for that the Catholics, their holy place is the Vatican. For the Muslims, is Mecca. For Bitcoiners, is El Salvador. So we must go to El Salvador. So, and talking about the book, let's come back to the
okay.
book. So,
The pre-sale kicks off on 14th of November. Right now, we are trying as much as possible to market or to position the book in the market through our website. We have the website for the Sovereign Mother. It is called the Sovereign Mother website. So if you want to have to book the book as early as possible, you can book it through our website, or you can even opt to donate instead of booking the book. We can also have a conversation about the book. In El Salvador, if someone is there and is willing to understand more about the book, because you'll have the first-hand experience of the book and whatever it entails, why we chose to entail that in the book, why we chose mainly nutrition, health, mental well-being, and finance as our core pillars of running the Bitcoin Babies program. So 14th of November is the present. The release date, we are still planning on the release date. We don't have a specified scheduled date yet, but we are hoping by the end of this month we release Bobo.
Excellent, excellent. So, and also, if you don't go to El Salvador, I think you can buy it online, and there is worldwide shipping, right?
Yeah, they are, okay, we will distribute a few books for free to different Bitcoiners around the world. Whoever will be lucky to get them, well and good. But we will distribute as much as possible as we can, so that the idea of the book is sold around the world everywhere. Anyone understands what Bitcoin Babies is doing. And
Excellent.
yeah, and it is not that difficult for someone to understand. We have tried to make the book as simple as possible. For Kenya, we had a Swahili version of the book. There was a first, like, let me say, it was like a concept of the book, which was written both in English and Swahili for the monks to understand. So that concept is what we have been improving on for the past 2 years, and it's what we are going to release in this short period to come.
Excellent. And talking about the future of Bitcoin Babies, what are the plans? Of course, if you can talk about that, if they are not secret, but what plans you have in mind for the future of Bitcoin Babies?
We have a lot of plans. One of the major plans we are having is expanding Bitcoin Babies beyond just Kenya. We want to do it in different countries, mostly in Africa. If we get the right tools in the right places and we do the right thing rightfully, we expect to expand to different countries and make the same impact we are making in Kenya, and improve, touch the different lives of different mothers. But we have one little, let me say, challenge, which we face mostly in Kenya, that is building the circular economy. That is one of the hardest thing I think every Bitcoin or every circular economy has been facing throughout the Bitcoin space. But our intent is to build Bitcoin outside the country, but we want to learn how we can use other circular economies alongside us to continue spreading whatever Bitcoin Babies is doing in Kenya. So our intent is expanding globally, but we hope that we have the right tools to convince different people from different circular economies from different parts of the world to incorporate and offer a platform where we don't start from zero again. We start from at least, let's say, 20, because we have already a circular economy. You only need the mothers and the program to kick off. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. And talking about Bitcoin in general, how do you see the future?
Bitcoin in general, it is going to improve a lot of lives. People worry about the dips, the highs, the lows that Bitcoin comes along with, which test people's patience a lot. Especially the dips in Bitcoin. I think many people tap out of Bitcoin because of how they see the dip is going. But if you are patient with Bitcoin, it gives you the power to unlock a lot of things, even for yourself, physically and even mentally. You think differently when you learn about Bitcoin than how you stay knowing about fiat money. Like, for me, if I was government employed, I wouldn't be enjoying the benefits that come along with the dips and the highs and the lows of BTC. I wouldn't have known BTC. I will be keeping my money in banks. Every time you keep your money in banks, you go a loss because of any kind of inflation. So it's a good place for everyone to learn and incorporate right now than later on, because later on it will be too late and a lot of people would have learned what Bitcoin is and advantage it has of other types of money. So I'm thinking it will go beyond whatever we expect even ourselves.
Excellent, excellent. And to close the conversation is the last question. If you had the chance to sit down with Satoshi Nakamoto, what would you ask or say to him, to her, or to them?
I would ask them, why did they choose a concept that seemed simple to understand in the first place, but with time it keeps on becoming, as many as we are getting into the Bitcoin space, Bitcoin becomes more difficult to understand. That's why I think the stability of Bitcoin comes in. That's the cassette of Bitcoin makes it difficult with the time than the way it was in the beginning.
Excellent, excellent. So, Danny, thank you very much for your time. How people, anything else you want to add, and how people can contact you?
You haven't asked me some mother and I'm in the Bitcoin Babies program. Okay, I'm not a mother.
Excellent.
I'm just I'm just I'm just an employee. But fortunately, before I came into this interview, I was from the hospital. My wife has given birth to a baby boy. So I'm going to the hospital right now to see my
Nice,
baby. Yeah. I'm
nice.
also a Bitcoin
Congratulations.
baby.
Congratulations, so congratulations. And how people can contact you and how can contact the project to help or to ask anything.
You can contact us through our social media platforms. On X, you can contact the Bitcoin Babies program at BTC Baby. On Instagram, it's still at BTC Baby. On Nostr, it is at Bitcoin Baby. Same case for me on Nostr, I'm Danitel. Even on X, I'm Danitel. And in case you have any inquiries, you can contact us through all those social media platforms and we will answer. And even if through our website, we have our website, the Bitcoin Babies website, you can contact us through the website and we will answer and give you feedback of whatever inquiries you have.
Excellent. Danny, thank you very much for your time. I wish you the best and I hope we can talk in the future, seeing the improvement of Bitcoin Babies. I appreciate the job you are doing to help the people who need the most and show them the way to build a better future. Danny, again, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Fernando, and thank you for inviting me and the Bitcoin Babies program.
And excellent. And thank you very much to everyone who is on the other side. If you like the episode, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, share the episode as well. Follow us in our all social media. As we always say, we don't ask you for money. We just ask you for a like, a share, a comment. It helps us a lot to keep our mission of painting orange the whole world. So, and if you are going to La BitConf, that is going to be this week in Buenos Aires, 7 and 8 of November in Costa Salguero, in front of the city airport, in an amazing place of Buenos Aires, you can buy your tickets with the code Libertarian and you will get 30% off discount. I will be speaking there in a couple of panels. I will be a moderator. I will be recording podcasts inside the La Bitcoineta, that is a whole minivan that is plotted about Bitcoin and travels around the country teaching Bitcoin to the people. It's going to be an amazing event. If you are there, just semi-high, and we are going to be uploading a lot of content. I'm sure that the biggest amount of content that we will upload from this conference is going to be in Spanish, but we are going to interview for sure. Is coming the founder of Treasure, is coming Efrat Fenningston, so I will be able to interview them and show to our English-speaking audience all the things that are happening there. So again, thank you very much for your time. As I always said, share this episode with the people you love, share this episode with the people you hate, because we must reach 8 billion people and give them the orange pill. See you in the next episode of our podcast. Stay humble, stack sats, and remember, we are all Satoshi.
We are all.
And that's all for today. If you like the episode, please give us a like, subscribe to our channel, follow us on social media. Our X account is the Bitcoin _. Our YouTube channel is the Libertarian BTC. Our YouTube channel in Spanish is Libertarian BTC ESP. Our Patreon, the Bitcoin Libertarian. Our Instagram, the Bitcoin Libertarian. That's all. You can go there and follow us in all our social media.